Visions of Woody Guthrie, Pete Seeger, Willie Nelson, John Denver, Jim Croce, Judy Collins, Joni Mitchell, Joan Baez, Christopherson, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams Sr., Peter, Paul, and Mary, the Kingston Trio, Josh White Jr., Ramblin' Jack Elliott, Robert Service, Mark Twain, Roy Rogers, Gene Autry, Zorro, Hopalong Cassidy, Red Ryder, Wild Bill Hickok, Jingles, Lash LaRue, Louis L'Amour, Cowboys, Indians, Black Slaves, Pioneers, my grandparents and my mother's and my brother's belief in my talent kept me going on and on down the endless mile of life. I tried never to look back. Not often, anyway. I was afraid to look back for long, for fear I'd give up and quit. I had no idea that 30 years later I would find myself in a position where I would be forced to look back. And look back I did. From a bed in the Laurel Mountains of western Pennsylvania, I looked at my past and sighed, a sigh of relief. Relief to be alive and still have enough memory to recall it all. California in the 70s. The bonds of a wife and the guilt of religion drove me toward the black abyss of freedom so fast that by the time I landed in California, I was looking at nothing but green lights. The 70s had no lights, no red lights at all. It was wild, romantic, and a poet's dream. It lured me in like a stripper on a stage in a dark bar on a cold winter night. Like a wood stove in a snowstorm, like a warm, loving woman in the mountains. I did what I wanted and went where I wanted with no one to say no. I grew my first full beard. I ate the last 14 hits of Timothy Leary's LSD. I floated across the desert in a hot air balloon looking for Jupiterian spaceships. I chased the devil and passed him like a snowball headed for hell. I wrote music and poetry every day and became a true troubadour with a desire to see the magic of the universe. I was hanging by a thread on my journey, thought I was as low as I could get. People putting money on the table, and the lady in my life, she took the bet. She'd been gone nigh on a month when I met Mary. I was damn near close to dying when she took my hand. Mary grabbed a hold, and I'm still living, and she wasn't just another one-night stand. When a man can't give of everything he has, Lord, and have it all received by the one he lives for, then it's time to change direction on the journey and get started on a new path headed home. Now the lady that took the bet, she lost her husband, and she's living all alone with her pain. I feel so bad about all of her hurting, but I knew I'd have to die if I remained. I was standing in a bar one night in the San Fernando Valley, Diamond Jim's. I was singing to a bunch of drunk lawyers and business people. Whiskey and lies and $100 bills were flowing like water in the spring flows through a mountain creek. My hat was on the table with money falling out of it. I was sober, happy and rich for now. But something was missing. Something was always missing. And then I felt a warm, gentle touch on my arm. I turned, and there stood a slender woman with hair that almost touched her hips. A smile was on her face, and a tray full of shots were in her hand. She asked if I wanted a drink. I ordered a cup of coffee. She said, "Coming right up, cowboy." I melted. There it was. That magic spell was being cast on me again. The lure of warmth and love. Lust and love are twins that can sneak up and grab you at any moment. Here it was, a true Southern California beauty, disguised as a cocktail waitress. I had to find out her name. A few hours later, she tucked in her 2-year-old son and her 3-year-old daughter and strolled back into her living room. She lit the candles on the mantel and brushed back her hair. I sat in a big, comfortable chair by the door. My hat was on my knee, and she crossed the room slowly, and she took it. She placed it on a small table and took my hand. Her touch was so warm. I told her I'd never felt a hand so warm. She said it was a healing gift. She said it came from her Siamese ancestors. She told me she could feel the pain in other people and placed her hand on my heart. All of the anxiety of the day was removed by that one gentle touch. A poet's life certainly attracts a lot of magic. The salt air is blowing in from the sea, and the sun is sinking low, and the clouds have formed a gray-blue cast of visions in my soul. The tide makes music for my ears, and the sand is wet with dew, and the wrinkles on my fevered brow are there from thoughts of you. My mind wanders back to thoughts of mountain streams, times when I'm home. Oh, honey, you don't know how much that means. The birds of fall take off to fly. I see them going to sea, and I, my dear, am off somewhere, singing songs for you and me. One more night by the ocean side, and then I'll come home again, to sit by the fire and hold you tight and tell stories of sailing men.